Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Big Chief channel. Joining you today is myself, your host, Aaron Lee, as well as a familiar face, as we are going to be talking about one of the most important topics of the show, which is being an author and why that is important, as well as why you must be an author yourself. So, without further ado, let me introduce uh, our very familiar friend of the channel, none other than John Tan himself. Welcome in, John. How's it going?
Hi, it's always been great to be on this show.
Awesome, awesome. And a quick welcome in to all the viewers of the channel as well, especially Patricia, Andrew, those of you who are in the chat. If you guys are here, let us know in the chat box below. And if you're ready to go, let's proceed, John.
Yeah, just to backtrack, so that
Yeah.
those who were not with us the last 2 weeks, what are we on to? For the last 2 weeks, I spell out the 10 different good reasons why you must be an author. Must, very powerful word, MUST. And first
Not
session we
should,
covered,
huh?
not should, must. Because should
Okay.
should consider, must do. So the first session we covered five, last session we covered another five. There are
That's
many
right.
many reasons. I just gave us 10 good reasons. Today we can zoom in into one of the 10 key reasons, which is to use it as a PR and marketing tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, PR and marketing tool. Shall I get started with the overall big picture? Then afterwards we
Let,
can investigate the three
let's do
pointers
it.
I'll cover. Yeah.
Let's
You
do it.
see, in this world that we live in, other planets I'm not sure yet. All of life is perception. All of life is perception. I learned that when I joined mainstream advertising many years ago. I learned that I wish I learned that even when I was a little boy, but a bit late, never mind. At least a good
Hmm.
many years I realized all of life is perception. And whether we like it or not, whatever field of work or business that you choose to be in, it is a competitive field.
Hmm.
Am I not right?
Of course, you
I
are right.
sure hope the humans in this world, whether business people or workers, would strive for a win-win kind of relationship. It seldom happens. It seldom happens.
Mm.
So it is a competitive environment. So how do we stand out? How do we stand out? Now I'm not saying that we stand out without knowledge, without the skills necessary. How can we stand out vis-a-vis, let's say, my field, the field I'm in, there are 200 competitors or 2,000 competitors. How do I stand
Hmm.
out? So there are three key pointers I'd like to cover today. You want to stand out as an icon of authority. Yeah, author, you know this?
Mm.
Author. Once you start writing your first book, you add ity. Wow, like it's like getting a longer title, authority. The world will perceive people, customers perceive people that if you got a book, whether in printed form or video, you are an authority on that subject
Yeah.
matter or business. And second, back to the word, the key word for today is perception. When people perceive you differently, you automatically stand many notches above the competition. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
third is you 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 arouse attraction. You arouse attraction. And this attraction is, let us backtrack. One of the 10 key reasons I pointed out last 2 weeks was the first one is to make money. Many people wet behind the ears. Oh, I want to be an author one day so that I can make money like J.K. Rowling. Yeah?
Yeah.
Not everybody is lucky enough or good enough. You can be very good but not lucky enough, especially with the traditional publishing houses. But since
Right.
then, self-publishing has become not only acceptable, but is the main way to go. Self-publishing. That's why this series is called "Why You Must Be an Author." Self-publishing has become reputable. Now, this
Mm.
attraction refers to even if your main intention is not to make money from selling the book, from selling the book, that means
Yes.
sales of books, you can still make money. Afterwards, we'll explore, I will share with us the many ways that we can make money out of writing your first book. All right,
All right. That is the exciting part. I'm sure everyone wants to make money.
leave the last part for last.
All
Leave the
right.
best part
Awesome.
for last.
All right. So shall we jump into it? I believe that this word, authority, even Google likes it a lot. Huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Care to
Authority.
explain the word authority?
Yeah, authority is important. Of course, it helps a lot. I'm not biased. It helps a lot if our communication skills are honed, HONE, to a higher level. Then it will be easier to come across as someone authoritative. You know,
Yeah.
so gaining the authority in whatever field that you are in is highly critical. Highly critical. You present to people who are new to you, people who are knowledgeable in your audience, they they will say to themselves, it's worthwhile going through this presentation, isn't it?
Mm.
The people who are not so knowledgeable, they'll be very impressed. Oh, I love to work with this Aaron Lee. He sounds very authoritative. He knows his subject very well, and his
Mm.
experiences are all genuine, with testimony and so forth. That comes later because what comes first is that book in your hand. It's amazing. It's a world of perception, that book in your hand. So building up that authority, it's much easier today than 20, 30 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Thanks to digital realm, thanks to social media, right? So
Mm.
the good formula to remember is it's part of branding. The good formula is if you want to build up your reputation, you need to be credible from the
Credible.
now credibility. Yeah? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
credibility is authority and visible.
Visible. Huh?
Yeah, visible. You see, it's no use to be someone very authoritative of a subject. You got your triple masters or triple doctorate, but people don't see you around,
Right.
isn't it?
Right.
Don't write about it, you don't talk about it, you don't appear much, right? Especially today, digital realm, like it or not, it is the realm that we want to be active. For me, coming from the an era where social media was not there, today also sometimes I feel, why do we have to do all this? Why?
Yeah.
So many social media. I sometimes wonder, in fact, a lot of times I wonder, where can we find all the time to be active, isn't it?
Correct.
We
Correct.
don't need
Correct.
to be active in every social media. Yeah? Just the key ones. We all know the key ones. LinkedIn. LinkedIn is very important for business. Facebook. Yeah. Facebook is best to have a Facebook page, not just your personal page. Otherwise, you keep talking about your work business. It's like spamming, isn't it?
That's right.
Instagram, people like to tell success stories about themselves, and then of course lately TikTok, TikTok. You can even do videos on TikTok. It used to be a very short form version. Now they allow longer version. So
Personally, I find it very tiring to try to cater to so many social media. Even though we
mm,
just we only mentioned the big three, so
yeah,
Instagram, Facebook,
mm,
that kind of thing. But nowadays I see people, especially people who are more who have seen success. They
mm,
hire their own. Uh, they hire their own graphic designer, copywriter, just for the
Yeah.
purpose of keeping their social media alive, for the purpose of visibility. Yeah? Even
Mm.
though the payout is not immediate, they still invest to keep their social media active, just for the sake of visibility.
Mm. Yeah, because there's an old phrase,
Mm.
today's flavor. Have you heard of it? Today's flavor. You know, a model last time who appeared a lot, wow, become very famous, right?
Uh
Then
huh.
she disappeared for a while, another today's flavor come about, right? So
Right.
the bottom line is we got to be visible. We got to be visible. I
Yeah.
hear you well. It's tiring to go to a few social media. In fact, sometimes I ask, why are we even doing this? Why are we even doing this? You see, when I was in mainstream advertising many years ago, we work our heart and soul. We work very late.
Mm.
Officially, weekends don't need to work, but most of the time we either go back to work or work at home.
Yeah.
But our own visibility was not there. You see, we
Yeah.
work for people, maybe they pay money, and we are sort of obligated to do that. So today's
Yeah.
situation is similar. You say you have people who engage one or two or even an agency to do for them, but
Correct.
failing which, I got to do it myself. The
That's right. That's
visibility
right.
has to be there. So we build up
But John,
authority. Yeah.
what would you say? If let's say you don't have, you're a person that doesn't have authority, like you haven't achieved something big enough yet, perceived by the public to be big,
Oh.
being visible on social media does it even affect anything?
Yeah, but
Is it
our
effective?
topic for last 2 weeks
Mm,
and the next 10 weeks is to be an author.
mm,
Being
that's
an
right.
author gives you authority straight away, whether it's true or not true. Of course, we're
True.
not encouraging people to be weak in what they do and claim to write a book, right? Isn't it
Mm,
reasonable? If you can't write well, you can engage a shadow writers or ghost writers or co-author, right? So you go on social media, tell me, you go on social media. I don't need the statistics. How many authors are there? Not many, isn't it? So
mm-mm.
part of my avatar, my profile, I put author, speaker, coach, isn't it? How many? Not many, isn't it? It's unfortunate.
Almost. Yeah.
Everyone should not only strive to be an author, because that alone gives you the authority. That alone gives you authority. And life is like that. Once you have a semblance of authority, you get some good words, some attention from people, then you continue to be better and better and better at it. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Does it make sense?
That's right.
Yeah.
It does. It does.
Just like if I can sing reasonably well, but I was not sure. Then some business friend invite me to KTV. Hey John, you sing very well. Wow. After that, I make sure every time I see them, I sing, isn't it? So
Yeah.
it's a two-way sort. You do not expose yourself, people don't get attracted to you. You expose yourself, people get attracted to you. You get encouraged. So that
Fair enough.
authority is very important.
Fair enough.
Visible and credible.
Very good.
Mm. That's all about how people perceive the work. You see, last time when it was traditional publishing houses, not many get selected to be. It was estimated by the experts. Not even 0.1% of interested authors get selected. Because once you get
Mm.
selected by those big players last time, they're still around, but they now do self publish. They now venture into helping with self publishing as well. That's why they only give you 1 to 5%, maximum 10% of royalty only. So you
Yeah.
need to sell a lot and lot and lot of books. Why do they take 95 to 90% for themselves? Because they do a lot of marketing, a lot of PR for you as an author, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
can't run away from the fact. that we need to do PR and marketing. Yeah? And that is
Okay.
why successful authors always, I repeat, put New York Times bestseller on the cover because they are
Yeah.
already successful, right? But what if we haven't earned that accolade yet?
Your local town lah.
Something, because the mentality of people, me included, is we like to see people who are award winners, they have got
Mm.
certification or whatever relevant, and then
Yeah.
that's a semblance of authority. So it is
How do
perception.
you write a book to target those kind of awards?
Target those awards.
Is it all in the marketing?
Yes, on the one hand is how you see if some people still want to go the traditional publishing routes, after they start the self-publishing, they become successful, especially those internet marketers, then they
Yeah.
go to a traditional publishing house, right? So that way you don't need to worry. Once they take you on as their author and they promote you, all the people in the stable will write great testimonies for you. This
Mm.
is recorded. I was dare say it's the name of the game. That's how they help each other to self promote each other, lah, right?
Fair.
On the
Yeah.
other hand, it's a very good question. How can we get into certain bestseller lists? There's so many. New York Times has, the Washington Post has. I'm naming the English realm. Of course,
Mm.
other language have the other realm. Then other, for instance, in the world of movies, we always talk about Oscar, and then the Film Directors Guild. But there also the Venice Festival, the Malaysia Festival. There's so many, right? Well,
Yeah.
initially aim for the smaller one first, where at least you're a
Mm.
winner of something. That means you are recognized by something, right? We
True.
network with authors. One of the key things is we network with authors. Yeah,
Mm.
we know in the world networking, just knowing people is not good enough. We network with people who are like-minded. They are
Mm.
author, not only author, they are successful authors, isn't it? So you not only learn from them, and you can get some tricks from them. The third way is look at the criteria of judging of each of these bestseller, and then you write according to the criteria.
Mm-hmm.
So getting the bestseller list is is not easy, but it's also not extremely difficult if we aim to be in the bestseller list. Yeah?
Mm.
If we aim to. So look at the criteria. For instance, I won the public speaking contest. How did I win them? Number one, I must enter the contest, lah. Right. Number two, study the criteria of judging. Right. Number
Mm.
three, practice according to the criteria. So it can be done. But
Right.
if
Right.
we put our books
Y-
onto Amazon and those
Yeah.
digital market, they even have the bestseller of the week, bestseller
Right.
of a genre, subgenre. So it can be done. It can be done.
So, but usually, I mean, there are so many, things you can aim for, like awards
Mm.
you can aim for. Does
Yeah.
it take multiple books to aim for these awards, or do you just
No,
publish
no, no.
one and
It's just one. It's based on
okay,
one month.
okay,
Is if we talk about movies, not usually they give the mature actors or actresses a lifetime achievement.
mm-hmm.
That's lifetime achievement. But for bestseller, how many books you've written doesn't matter. Could be the first one. And
I
many
see.
first timers get to win because they tediously, meticulously select who will be the author they want to promote. Yeah.
I
You
see. I
see,
see.
but now self-publishing has the pros and cons. Anyone can do it, but you still need to network with the right people because otherwise, you look at the movie world. Who usually won the awards? Then one day Netflix, the streaming people come on. How can they win, isn't it? Initially, right?
Mm.
Then
Mm-hmm.
they make a storm in the market. They got more subscription. They got more budget. Netflix has been winning awards the last few years for movies, right?
Correct, correct, correct.
So of course
They aim for the reward awards.
you aim for it. Huh?
Yeah.
You only get what you want.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we move
And
on to the next
yeah,
sorry, sorry.
so authority perception, you work to people's perception. When people see you as an author, as a successful authority person, we we sort of live up to their perception. We cannot question people, isn't it? How people
Mm.
perceive. If you speak well at first impression, which is very important, then you got to speak well. You got to dress well. That's how people perceive. That's important. And the third one is attraction. Your book, even your first one, can be a beacon of attraction. Yeah, can be a great beacon of attraction, provided you want to step out of your comfort zone. Most people write a book, release, sit down. How come sale not coming in? Sale is not important if we use as a PR marketing tool to open doors for contracts of future possibilities regarding work or business, which I will cover. Now there are four areas where you will gain attraction. Let's look at one. Business wise, if you use it as a PR marketing tool, yeah, or even if you write about your passion or hobby or special interest, you be able to run talks and training workshops on that subject, on that book,
Mm.
right? Number two, you can do consulting based on that book because the book gives you the authority, right?
Right, right.
And then you could go into professional coaching. Those who prefer to, instead of training workshop, they want a one-on-one, you know. Just like I do public speaking to groups of 20, 30 people. Sometimes CEO or some companies, they want one-on-one. That's
That's
why
right.
the
That's right.
CEO company is willing to pay the same rate for one person. So these are possibilities for business and work. Second, you can get more recognition to build up your reputation with that first book. How? You can be a columnist of newspaper, the physical newspaper or online newspaper, the columnist.
Mm-hmm.
Usually we just look at the today's news, social, economic, political news. But there's also a feature news, the columns. So you can
Mm-hmm.
be a columnist for newspaper or magazine, online or digital. You
Mm-hmm.
can be known as the go-to person, American famous American term go hyphen to, go-to person. When some situation happen relating to your subject, they will call you for interview, or your 2 cents worth of whatever that you can contribute to the subject. Then you become the commentator then in the relevant field. If you notice,
Mm.
you read the online newspapers and offline,
Mm-hmm.
practically the same people will comment on situation, whether prices rising or
Yep.
or
Yep. Yep.
climate change or the business field, whichever field, right? Because
That's right.
I've been a reporter before journalism, and I can tell you a secret, although many people know it. With due respect to reporters, reporters take the easy way out. If they want comments on a certain subject, why go and source for new people? Unless their colleagues or their friends say, "Hey, this Aaron is newcomer, no, but it's very good." So you
Yeah.
join in, and you become the like the a stable of people they call all the time. That's why now a lot of usually professors are appearing in news a lot, because they see
Yeah.
other professors talking. They also come and talk. Then they became a well-known, famous.
True.
And
Uh,
the third way is you can be a guest writer.
mm.
Of course, we can start our own blog. Talk about your book, pertinent subject from the book. Maybe you write a book with 10 chapters, you talk about first chapter, then the second chapter, third chapter, and then you recycle to another story. Or you can be a guest writer, GUEST, on other people's blog. Yeah,
Right.
online especially is very friendly. Similar business, they invite other writers to come in, so that they help to build each other with their recognition. The third way
Mm.
is you can go on media, whether offline or digital. Digital
Yeah.
also got radio, nowadays popularly known as podcast, and then you go on TV, like what we're doing it, we are as part of a TV, ISIU TV, right? And then you can do many things via the media. Too many for us to name. I think you get the picture. The important thing is, as I said just now, step out of your comfort zone to build upon your authority that you already earned from your first book. Yeah,
I see.
it works. I've been using this for many years. I've been using it for many years. And of course, LinkedIn is the best out of the social media if we are talking business and work. Because
Mm.
LinkedIn, in case some of us are not fully aware, is for the business and working community. Not to
That's right.
say
That's
in
right.
Facebook, Instagram, you cannot be active with your business and work, right? But
But it's
LinkedIn
more
is,
conducive on LinkedIn.
conducive. You know
Mm.
that you will not be accused of spamming. We thought this is my new book, you know.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Yeah. And
Oh.
then the
eh,
fourth one, the fourth
Mm-hmm.
one, we only got a few minutes more. The fourth one,
Yeah.
there are expositions and exhibitions, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It could be book fair. You can be invited or you get yourself invited. By the way, I like to share this with all the people in the audience. In life, you either get invited if you're supposedly very good at something, or you get yourself invited. I do that a lot. You can call me thick skin or whatever, because not many people get invited all the time. They invite people they know. So if you're coming up with your first book, get yourself invited. No? Exposition, exhibition. Not necessary book fair. Could be your field of interest, like Aaron in field of music or digital. In my case, branding, even landscape. Those are my interests. You can talk about it. If it's number one related to your book, number two not related is also okay, because the whole idea of this conversation is the book gives you the authority and people perceive you as a person of authority, that people should find time to listen to you, right? Then
Right.
second, there are conventions and conferences.
Mm.
The conventions and conferences which goes on throughout the year. Most of us facilitators, trainers, we do workshop, we also get invited for conventions and conferences on specific
Mm.
field. And then thirdly, within your own professional, that means your specialist, like in my case, branding, storytelling, and communication. There will be events like that. Again, get yourself invited. Firstly, LinkedIn, you put in there, people will invite you. And the other way is get yourself invited. Fourthly, the professional trade industry, that means non-specialist, not necessarily your field. See, I've given so many, so many, easily 20 ways to
Yeah.
prop up your authority, because you got the book, then people want to invite you or
Mm.
get yourself.
That's how
Uh,
you play
so that
around with authority,
ah
perception, and attraction.
yes,
Yeah.
and so in that journey, I said just now, while your first intention is not to make money from the sale of book, you're making money from sideways, sideways.
Mm.
If you do consulting,
Indirectly.
yeah, if you do consulting, that's huge money, isn't it? I have a friend who gets consultancy based on the books on leadership. It's a six figures. So why do we worry if I write a book, I cannot sell many books? This is a sideways legitimate ways to make money out of your book, not from the sale of a book, from the authority of the book. Makes a lot of sense.
Right, right, right. Very, very good. And with that, I think we can wrap up.
Yep.
Very, very good. So, without further ado, I believe we are reaching the end of the show. John, would you have any words of wisdom to wrap everything up with?
The words of wisdom is just one phrase, just one phrase. You, all of you probably heard it before. Make a decision, get into action.
Hmm.
I like to end with a little story, not mine. Someone wrote it years ago. I like it so much. The story of five frogs standing on a branch. Have you heard that? Story of five frogs standing on a branch, overlooking a river.
Mm-hmm. I've not heard of that.
One of the frogs decided, we're not talking about political frogs, real frogs.
Yeah,
One of
yeah.
the five frogs decided, I want to jump into the river. They
Mm-hmm.
can swim, by the way. So, out of five, one decided to jump. How many frogs are still on the branch?
4.
That is a mathematical answer that's correct. No, the
Yeah.
answer is five. This
Mm.
is the word of wisdom, phrase I like to share with all of us. Decision is not the same as action. So get into action,
Mm.
be an author today.
Very, very awesome. Thank you so much, John, for coming on the show. We really appreciate your words of wisdom as well as the quick, very fun story at the end. And also, huge thanks to the audience for tuning in. We hope that you enjoy the show. And with that, it is time to go. But before that, let me share that we are live every 8:30 GMT plus 8. So looking forward to catch you again next time. How everyone, and good night. Bye bye.
Wow. Bye bye.